hopefully everybody had a pretty good week, man. So we're gonna first just go over ground rules real quick for this session. Just to recap that. Remember everything we say here, or keep it here. Make sure everything stays confidential. Respect one another when somebody's talking, and don't talk over another person. You know, we just take turns going through. All right. So first off, just want to start off. Let's go ahead and let's just tell one thing that happened that was most memorable to us through the week. Go ahead, Scott.
For me, I guess wasn't much. I mean, all I really did was projects and study for my exams. Really, you know, it's dead week. So yeah.
Okay. What you mean?
Studying, but the biggest one was skipping a whole day of class.
Skipping a whole day.
Just because I had nothing, no one was taking attendance.
Oh, okay.
My projects are done. The only thing I left is for finals for those.
Oh, which one was you?
Chill day, man. That's cool. That's really cool.
Well, similar to Scott, one actually bought me a new shoe. I haven't had for a while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So my daughter picked it for me too.
Nice.
Yeah.
For me was today. I got a paper back. It was a 7-page paper that I worked. I didn't think I did pretty good, but I got a 190 out of 200.
Oh,
so
nice.
Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
what's up. Nice.
And then today, right before this, I helped. Got to be in the holiday shoot. It's like a holiday spot that they're gonna air for Chico State. So
Oh, nice.
be on the lookout for that next week.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
Cool.
You can go ahead and share that video to everybody, you know, once it comes out, too.
I will.
Yeah. Alright, guys. So, just going over today's session. So, today's session, I titled it, you know, just understanding challenges. So, you know, basically challenges that our peers we face, you know, dealing with either, you know, our diverse cultures or just racism, stuff like that, that we have to go through. Alright?
Alright.
So, first off, I just want to, share to you guys a story that I read. So I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm just going to give you guys kind of a recap of what happened in the story. Basically, out in the UK, this girl, her name is Jade, she wrote this essay. She's from London. She's a soccer player. And basically, she was playing for the team, and she had, I guess, always dealt with kind of like racism. She's a person of color, so in the middle of the game, she would always get taken out of the game, kicked, and just the refs and stuff like that wouldn't let her play just because of her skin color. So one day, she was in a game, she was playing, and then one of the refs called out to her, or her and one of the opponents. You know, they were just playing, and then they stopped the game, and then the ref said to her, "Here, I have the excerpt here. Hey, you come here. You were meant to be playing 10 minutes ago." And then so she walked towards the guy, and then instead the ref was actually talking to the other girl, and then the ref said to the girl, "Not you, you dirty piece of filth," basically, and she just was extremely hurt by it.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So and then she ended up doing something pretty crazy. She ended up there's another field. Another field. I guess it was like down. It must have been like down the street or across the road or something like that. That she ended up setting up the grass. She cut the grass, and then she painted all the lines for the field, and basically started her own soccer club just because of that too.
Yeah. That's
So,
very cool.
Yeah. So I mean, just because you have to deal with racism or just people attacking you because like you're different diverse culture doesn't mean you have to bring it down. You can use it for yourself. You know what I mean? Use it as your advantage to do something great, right? And that's what she did. She started a football club or a soccer football club, and then all types of people playing it. You know, different skin color, different backgrounds, and that was her purpose of it too.
Wow, that's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Very inspirational.
Yeah. So first off, let's go ahead. So this is kind of like the first activity we want to go through. So let's go ahead and just kind of share what you guys feel about that. Let's go ahead and do Scott.
For me, man, it really sucks. I mean, the ref shouldn't have done that, you know. I mean, really, you know, the ref is someone who players should respect because, you know, they're the one with authority.
Right.
But for him to do that kind of stuff, you know. But I mean, really, it's really inspirational for me to hear for her on her part to, you know, to take it and, you know, to grow from it, you know.
Right.
Yeah, it's really inspirational.
Yeah, it is. I mean, she's only, like I said, she's only 11 years old. It's crazy for 11-year-old to be able to do something like that. You know what I mean?
I know.
All right, Gene, how about you? How do you feel about that?
I think it's interesting how even 11 years old, that's still not a teenager. That's not anywhere near adult.
Right.
And like they're like basically a kid, and then how an adult would treat a kid like that.
Right.
Yeah.
I
I
like
can understand. I can accept. I can understand more racism from
Right.
adults, but when you see with kids,
Right.
and like kids shouldn't have to go through that.
Right.
So it's pretty cool that she like, and because of that, she started her own club. Like everybody's accepted.
Right.
Yeah.
How about you?
I thought this was really interesting and really disturbing case. I thought it was disturbing because, as a matter of fact, how even in the United States nowadays, everybody else be saying, "Oh, racism doesn't exist," but
Right.
or it doesn't exist in the world. But Claire just stated that she just encountered her first, or maybe
Yeah.
multiple discrimination.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, just like what you said earlier, I think people for diverse backgrounds should use their culture or
Mhm.
their background as an advantage, as a motivation to create change, and that's what this girl did. It was
Right.
create her own soccer club, allowing different people, different ethnicity to join the club and play soccer. I think it's pretty inspirational.
For me, I'm actually I used to ref soccer, so like
Oh,
kind of seeing this from that side, it's like very kind of disappointing that
yeah.
because being a ref, you are, and especially in soccer, you're looked as a leader and stuff,
Right.
and like seeing something like that is pretty. It's like doing the badge, dishonor, and like reminded me of like this other story that one of my ref classes I had to take that
Mhm.
this one of the head refs, he's like he was at like his son's soccer game. He's like a high school soccer game, I think, and one of the refs ended up like they kind of got into altercation and like some racial slurs were used against the head ref,
Mm-hmm.
and then later on, that same ref that used the racial slurs, like he was getting like to go up to the next level to ref,
Mm-hmm.
and sitting on the board was that head ref, the one who got the racial slurs
Oh, wow.
said to.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was just like, when it came down to it, I don't remember what he said. I don't think he talked about if he passed him or not.
Mhm.
Kind of like the moral of the story is that, when it came down to it, it's like he put that aside because he saw him like, as a ref kind of, but it was more so that he still faced that, and that the ref didn't. You never know that person can come back to later affect your future, because
Right.
like now, if that guy continues to be a ref and she has her own clubs, she can make it so that guy never refs on her field.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it's like that's what kind of made me thought of it, and all in all, so it's like it's a nasty thing to do especially to a child.
Oh, yeah.
And then like you just never know if that person's gonna go around and could affect you in some sort of way.
Right. I mean, from what I get from this, is basically, a lot of kids these days use like sports and stuff like that to channel channel their emotions and kind of like open up to the social life, and that's what sports should be teaching us anyways. Sportsmanship, respect for others as well,
Yeah.
and then especially in today's culture, in today's society, we need a lot of that to kind of help bring in all of culture, diversity and stuff like that. I mean, sports can really merge that together. We see that in like the Olympics and stuff like that. People from different types of countries, all the countries around the world, they get together. They all have respect for one another. Sports should be teaching us stuff like that. What I mean?
I agree.
Yeah. All right, guys. Very good points, everybody. So let's go ahead. Let's see. We're gonna go through some questions real quick, also. So we're gonna dig a little bit deeper into. Basically, I just want you guys to all kind of share. Share, I guess, like experiences you guys have felt for these questions, so your peers can kind of understand and kind of look at it and have a different perspective of it, or you might be able to see something that your peers have faced, and then you're gonna be able to relate to something that maybe you never thought that anybody else had faced except for you. So the question is just gonna be, so how does racial slurs and comments make you feel? And how do you react to it when you see it happening, and also like how do you stop it when it's happening to you, or when it's happening to yourself.
Mhm.
So I'm just gonna go over something real quick for me, just a really quick background on me also.
Mhm.
You know, I come from an Oriental background, so I mean, with most, you know, for me, growing up was kind of rough in my childhood, just because I wasn't really physically didn't look like a typical, you know, like a typical Asian. Basically, you know, I had the blonde hair thing going, and it's natural color. For me, I got, you know, attacked for my whole life, you know, growing up, and then for me, how I overcame it is, you know, I learned how to really embrace that and make it unique to myself. You know, and that's always one thing I face, and we always obviously I face like stereotypes growing up, you know, being the book smart person only, and you know, not being gifted athletically and stuff like that, and you know you get a stereotype for that kind of stuff. So I mean, overcoming it is just, you know, you channel it and you don't get angry about it. I used to get angry about it as a kid, but now I don't. You know, it doesn't bug me anymore. I use that kind of to my own advantage. You know, whatever they say, you use it for your own encouragement and motivation to just do better. And also just, you know, like with the thing with, you know, my physical looks, it just made me think, you know, I was just more unique than everybody else. You know? All right, so yeah, let's go again and repeat the question. So just how does racial slurs? Sorry, bless you. So how does racial slurs or comments make you feel? How do you react to it? And how do you also react to it when you see it happen to other people? Do you stop it? Do you just kind of let it go? You know, and I just want us to be honest and kind of share so that we can kind of pick up something else from somebody else. All right, Scott, let's go ahead and go with you first.
For me, you know, it's, you know, I kind of grew up in a rough neighborhood, so it wasn't out of the norm for me. You know, it happened all the time. For me, I always just ignored it. Just, you know, growing up as a kid, my parents always tell me, you know, just stay out of trouble.
Right.
And, you know, they say something, you know, just ignore it, just walk it off. You know, just forget about it, because, you know, eventually, if, you know, in my opinion, I felt like if they could see that, you know, their words are buggy or hurting you, then, you know, it's going to be encouraging for them to do it or say it, you know.
Right.
And if it was, you know, happened to someone else, I mean, nowadays for me, honestly, I probably would say something about it, not, you know, depending on the situation, you know, I don't want to escalate the situation,
Right.
but if necessary or need say, you know, I would say something about it, or maybe, you know, talk to the person, you know, question them, you know, ask them the reasons why, or,
Right.
you know, maybe it could just have been some, you know, conflicts or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing that we don't want to do. Also, is like when the situation is already getting like heated and stuff like that. If we add to it, then we could also make it worse. You know, if the best thing we can do is kind of like our intervention would be to just kind of like separate everybody else versus going in and I guess attacking the person who's attacking the other person as well. You know, I think the best thing would be just kind of intervene and just kind of like, you know, let everybody cool off. But thanks, very good, Scott. Thanks. But Jenny.
If it's for me or like people around me or people that I know, I'll intervene. But if it's for like some stranger or people that I don't know across the street, just mind my own damn business. Yeah, it's a rough one, but again, if I have like some control over it, I will say something because I can. But if it's like a fight or get in a fight or even an argument, just mind your own business, because I don't know, these days like nothing, bad things happen sometimes when you try to intervene.
Right.
Yeah.
That is very true too.
Yeah. So it's a rough one.
Yeah. It's hard. It's really hard to kind of like, you know, find that defined line. You know, when to jump in or not to jump in. You know, because you don't want to. You don't want to obviously risk anything happening to you or the other person as well. But that does make sense also. Alright, go ahead, Cool.
Well, as you kind of grown up, I faced many racism, discrimination, but I was just saying this type of, I was taught to, you know, just mind your own business, just do what you gotta do, and that's what I did, you know. And then I started to drift away from like my culture and who I am, and then I started to become a little bit more, you know, start ignoring my culture, stop hanging out with my community, and start hanging out with like my white friends and stuff. But it really started bugging me when then my friends start teasing me too, like, oh, you're smart because you're Asian, and I'm just kind of like, you know, I worked hard to get my A, you know.
Right.
So it just really bugged me, and it came down to like, you know, I'm gonna stand up for what's right for me and what I believe in, and that's why when I came to college, that's when I started being, you know, I'm gonna embrace who I am, and you know, if anybody says anything like really ignorant, I'm not gonna, you know, fight right away, but I'm gonna like just tell them, hey, why do you think this way, you know?
Right.
And then that's what I did, you know. But then there's some couple times, just like what Gene said, if it's people, we're in like a setting like this where we're having a conversation and somebody said something like kind of ignorant or something that's like not appropriate, I'll jump in and say it right away. But when people are like just shouting out like, oh, you damn chink, or like go back to your country and stuff like that, like it really upsets me, you know. Like I just want to like fight him and stuff. But then this one time it came down to a point where, you know, we almost fought, and then I guess these guys were never exposed to, you know, or never been educated about like, oh, not all Asians are the same, you know, not all Chinese people are the same. There's different languages and everything like that.
Right.
But you know, I was just really upset one day when somebody said like, "Oh, you stupid chink," and then I got mad, so I confronted this guy to a point where like we almost fought. And then I was just telling him, and then you know, I hope that he got like a reality check that like he shouldn't be saying ignorant stuff like that.
Right.
But then you know, I do feel comfortable like talking to people about it and just like educating them a little bit about that they shouldn't be saying like things like that or in public.
Yeah, that's the best thing. I mean, we don't want to, you know, bring violence into, you know, stuff like that, because that just kind of like, we're just adding fuel to the fire, basically. Is what we're doing, and we're just kind of adding to like, you know, stereotypes. So let's say if you know they already had a stereotype of the Asian people, they love to do this, when they like to react like this. Like we don't want to, you know, we know we're different from that. We want to be a lot better than that. We want to be a bigger person than that, and that's good to be able to kind of step out and, you know, just try to educate instead of terrorize back, you know. What about you?
For me, kind of like what these two said, that if someone I know and like, or I'm an acquaintance with them and like someone says something like, yeah, I'm gonna be like, well, what the heck, like, why are you saying that kind of stuff, you know?
Right.
And like, but if it's kind of people I don't know, if I'm like, I hear it in passing, it's more of kind of like, do I get the time to like, you know, full on go on to conversations? So like one time I heard it like these, I heard it in passing on the way to class, and I was like, I would say, I wanted to stop and say something, but I was like, I was gonna be late to class, so I was just like, yeah, it comes down to, it's like, you know, if I don't know them, if it's not, you know, kind of like not hurting the people I care about, then I'm not gonna say anything, but I do, think that, you know, you should you just call it out no matter what, when you hear it, you know, it's like something that, it's just like, it's no need for any of that anymore, you know, it's just, you know, tired, and it's just, it's, I don't know, to me, I think it's just,
yeah, it's rough, because, you know, sometimes maybe the person who's actually, you know, the recipient of, you know, whatever racial slur or something, it might be something they've been actually being, you know, kind of like bullied against for a while, and they haven't had nobody step up with them or speak against it, and so they consistently get targeted for it too.
Yeah.
So sometimes like a helping hand, like you said, even if you don't know the person, you might say something towards it. It might be something that they actually needed as well too, you know. So that's good.
Yeah, like I've confronted like my friends about it too. Like sometimes they'll say something, I'll be just like, what? Like, you know, like I'll just, you know, like, come on, man, like, you don't need to be saying that kind of stuff. And like, they're like, yeah, you know. And
and sometimes something like that, it can help a person like think twice, like, oh, you know what, maybe that wasn't right to say that. And little things like that can change and actually really educate another person as well too. Alright, very good responses, guys. So alright, well, that's very good, guys. So I mean, obviously you guys all have like a lot of passion obviously towards this stuff too. We've all kind of came from different backgrounds, but we've always been kind of like reached with different kind of stuff like this, you know, and we've all been kind of like hit with different things like this. And it's good that you guys all have, you know, your personal experiences, and you know, something that's good that you guys can share that with each other, so you guys can kind of all learn, right? So we're getting kind of short on time here. Let's just go and let's see. I have a couple people who just kind of explain about something that they learned today from, you know, from your peers and stuff like that.
Okay.
Let's go ahead. Let's go with Jeannie. Let's hear something that you.
Sorry,
if you're comfortable with it, if not, we can try to pass it on to somebody else too.
Yeah, pass.
Okay, you want to pass it on? Anybody? Let's take a volunteer. Yeah.
Okay. I think what I learned is that, you know, I think we all have like really really unique experiences, and then I think we're all really similar, you know.
Right.
And I think just the other day walking past these gentlemen, we actually just wave high and stuff. But now we actually have something to talk about.
Right.
That really go into depth. So I think next time when we see each other, we should just maybe talk a little bit more about these stuff, and like maybe we could get our friends together. We can hang out and talk about these issues.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Anybody else want to volunteer? One person?
No, you go ahead.
Oh well, for me, I think it's like kind of just like recognizing that we, even though we may come from different backgrounds and stuff, that we just share somewhat similar experiences, and that we should support each other, you know, through it, and that we're all not alone in our struggle of everyday life.
Right. Nice. That's very good points. Yeah, we all, like I said, we all kind of come from different backgrounds. A lot of times we all suffer from the same kind of, I guess, things that we get attacked for, you know. All right, guys. Very good today. So, so as we end off, I kind of want you guys to do just a little bit of homework, just a little bit of research activity. Nothing too crazy. I just want you guys to go home and just ask your parents or your grandparents about maybe some kind of racial issue that they had to deal with growing up. You know, maybe something about the culture or just racism that they had to face. All right. So just kind of be ready to prepare for that, or to share for the next session. All right.
Okay. Sounds
All right.
good.
Thank you guys.